Recording started. Okay, ready? One. Do you want to start first, or you want me to start?
You can start.
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi,
Wait,
guys. Wait, go
sorry.
ahead.
No, go ahead. I was like, no, wait, it hasn't started yet. But go ahead.
Okay. Hi, guys. Welcome to Two Ladies Hanging Out. This is going to be our first podcast of this amazing series. We're gonna dedicate ourselves to this to talk about have great conversations, as well as reading books, reviews, and a lot of great things in between. So my name is Angelica. I'm from Angelica's Corner.
Hi, I'm Sabrina, and I am from Life with Sabrina. And we're going to read our book here.
I love how you can see the little sticky note in my end.
Yeah.
So we're going with the flow with this. And if we get out of topic and whatever, let's just go with it. We're gonna go with it, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
We're gonna have great conversations. And I hope that everyone here gets something from this. And I hope that you guys join us for future either lives and a future podcast. And please leave in the comments anything that you maybe got from this, any feedback, good feedback. If you're gonna be mean about it, I don't want to hear it.
You're going to get
Thank you.
blocked.
You're gonna get blocked. Yes, you're good at blocking. You're like, okay, bye, boom.
I just don't have the time for it. Like it's enough that this world is, it's already going left,
Yes,
and it's kind of like, don't be mean. Like we're not on here bashing anybody. We're not on here being mean to someone. See, I feel like if the person that's making the videos is bashing someone else or being mean to someone else or just talking crap, you shouldn't be mean.
yes.
Then you could be, I
I,
guess, I mean, if you want to say your opinion to the person that's just bashing somebody else, then that's your
right.
opinion. But if it's a good person that's just out here making content and vlogging and doing certain podcasts, I just think that you shouldn't just say nothing if it's not going to be good.
Yeah, I'm a
So
believer in if you got nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. I probably
yeah,
mess up that saying, but I'm not saying that I'm 100% with that. But there's just certain things that I don't want to hear your 2 cents. I
yeah.
saw like when someone said, "I'm only asking for 1 cent," and you gave me your 2 cents.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Oh, that's a good one. But
Yeah.
anyways,
All right. So
let's
where do you want to
yeah.
start? You can start,
Okay.
and then if I am on the same um like page as like in the same
Right.
area as you, I would piggyback,
Yeah.
piggyback, piggyback.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Piggyback. I'm the same way. I'd be like, I think this is how you say it. Eh.
right, right.
But so we are starting to read The Artist's Way, A Spiritual Path to Higher Creativity by Julia Cameron. I probably said her name wrong. This is the book if you're interested in following and reading. Um, though our channel is related, well, our channel is like lifestyle slash budgeting. We wanted to I've heard about this book by them saying that it's a great book if you're trying to find creativity in your life. It could be not like just creating things, but finding your passion and things that motivate you that maybe you have lost um on your in your way in life, and you're wanting to get that back. So I read a lot. I heard and read a lot of great things about this book. And I'm excited because I thought, oh, you know what, Sabrina, we should talk about, let's do this. This could help us. But also, we want to tie this in with any of our lifestyles as well as, budgeting and all that great stuff. But I am going to start with in the beginning, they're doing like an introduction to the book. One thing that stood out to me was the basic principles. um she says here in the book that I'm trying to remember the part. She's saying like you should practice this daily. Say these basic principles to yourself and see what resonate to you, because you will become like you take place into that more. What you say, right? You speak into existence, the whole thing, speaking into existence, or talking positive to yourself, and you start believing it, right?
Yes.
So there is 10 basic principles, and out of these I didn't highlight, just like check mark. One thing that really stood out to me was We are ourselves creations, and we in turn are meant to continue creativity by being creative ourselves. Do you had any? I hope you don't hear my birds. They're like,
Girl, this is real life. Okay, this is reality right here.
I
Okay,
hear the birds like going nuts. They know. They think I'm talking to them when they hear me
they
talk.
probably like,
But
I want a spot on this camera.
I want to be here. Take me where I could hear them. But and then another one too that I really like. I did five of them. I did the number three, when we open ourselves to our creativity, we open ourselves to the creator's creativity within us in our lives. The one I just mentioned a few minutes ago, creativity is God's gift to us. Using our creativity is our gift back to God. I really
Yeah,
like that
that
one.
one. Yeah,
Yeah. And as we open our creativity channel to the creator, sorry, as we open our creative channel to the creator, many gentle but powerful changes are to be expected. And the last one that I really like was number nine. It is safe to open ourselves up to greater and greater creativity.
yeah.
What is the rest? Greater and greater
I
creativity.
really,
Mhm.
I
Go ahead.
really like the one that number five,
Mhm.
God's gift to us, and
Mhm.
using our creativity is our gift back to God. I feel
Yes.
that as what we do on this earth in a positive way
Mhm.
is given back to Him. Whether it's
Mhm.
just giving someone that's hungry $5 or just a dollar. I feel like
Mhm.
that's a creativity too. I think that's something giving back to God. Um, we're not trying to have this whole thing to be spiritual, but I
Right.
just feel like this is more because I'm not gonna lie. When there was one part in this book, I was just like, "What's she talking about, God?" But then I was like, "Let me give the book a chance." And
Right.
I saw
Right.
another girl reading it on YouTube as well. And it's crazy how she put it in perspective because
Mhm.
there's times that I think I've always said that I'm lost. Like I always think
Mhm.
I'm lost. I'm not. They say that trying to find your purpose, you're always going to try to find your purpose on because there's a purpose, but you're already in your purpose. You're just not paying attention to it because you know why?
Yeah.
And we'll get to that in the book because I mean, as we
Right.
go, because it does say it as we go. But I just think that everything we do in our lives is creative.
Mhm.
You know, whether it's just, I don't know, like for me, when I crochet, I think I'm creative. It might not be the best work, but I'm creative. I think
Yeah.
if I like at my job, like I hang out with the elderlies. My boss thinks that's a gift that I have, but I hang out with them. I talk to them, I engage with them. I feel like that's my gift. And to it's crazy to say because a lady even said that to me. I was opening a door for her and she's like, "Are you a nurse?" I was like, "No, I'm not a nurse." She goes, "You have that heart just to help people. Why did you open the door for me?" I'm like, "Because I think that's the right thing to do." Like you
Right.
were
Right.
like, what am I gonna do? Let the door
Right.
slam? And like
Slam
she
it in your
started
face.
right, right.
Right.
But it's those things that make me feel good because it doesn't have
Mhm.
to be about money. It could be the smallest little things like that, you know?
Mhm.
So I'm definitely giving this book a chance because as we keep going in, I started highlighting. I did not want to write in the book because I actually
You
wanted to
should
give it.
though.
No,
I'm the same way though.
I did it already. And I was just like, I could give this book to somebody else. But what I am gonna do is I know I wrote in it already, but I'll leave it somewhere because I noticed that they have like these free library little houses in downtown. I might just stick it in there. I know it's written on, but somebody can still read it.
No, because maybe what you highlighted could touch somebody.
Right, right. And I hope that I don't start crying in this book.
Don't do it. It may do that to you.
Oh yeah,
I was reading into it. It may do that to you,
right.
and
Because
that's
I was
okay.
just like, yeah. So a lot of this, and the number six wasn't bad either. It was the refusal to be creative is self will, and is counter to our true nature.
I agree. That is so true though.
Yeah,
Because I'm a believer that we set ourselves up for not failure, but we are our biggest enemy. And we get in our head so much, and I feel like that one too was like the way it says like we are the refusal to be creative is self-will. Like just how you could say I'm going to get up today and I'm going to be productive, then there's the other you, I'm gonna get up and do nothing because I want to. See, like you willing in you to do it.
Yeah.
So I feel like with creativity, for me at least, I like to sabotage myself. I'm honest. I come to the conclusion that I'm a self-sabotager. I get in my head like why would this be good for me? Why would I do this for myself? Like I don't, it's not that I don't think I deserve it because in my brain I do deserve it. But I
Mm-hmm.
feel like the I get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm in that stuck mode right now where I know there's I'm a believer there's a purpose to everything in life. There's a purpose why certain things happen to you in life.
Mm-hmm.
Though it sucks because that's just life. I also
Yeah.
believe that sometimes, like even when we bump into random people, like have you ever had a moment where you go somewhere and I'm one of those people I like to have random conversation with people. I don't know why. I'm just like that. I
Or
don't
like
know.
if you're on the line in the supermarket and they huffing and puffing, you be like, I know, right? Like I don't understand why that lady just did that. Like, and then
Exactly like those
the
random
conversation goes.
conversations. Or just
Yeah,
something
yeah,
tells
yeah.
me talk to people, like just talk to that
Mm-hmm.
person. And
Mm-hmm.
like it could be about any topic, anything.
Yeah.
And I get into myself where I'm like, I know there I know like you were saying about the purpose, God, our purpose, and you know
Mm-hmm.
what, I think we all live in our purpose, or our purpose has come to us already, but we refuse to be in part of our purpose. So we block it because it's impossible. Why me? That's impossible. I can't do that. I can't do this. I can't do that. Nah,
I
that's
think I
impossible for me.
think
Why should I be the one?
right. Why, I'm not enough, or you start putting things in your head like you don't
Mm-hmm.
want to do it because of this certain reason, or it could just be anything. Cause I'm like that too. Like when I started doing the cups, I'm like, "Ugh, everybody's doing the cups, and the designs are pretty much almost the same. But let me
Mm-hmm.
see if I can come up with my own. But in reality, yeah, you could come up with your own, but eventually down the line, it's going to be, how you say, repeat, not repeated, like it's going somewhere down the line, somebody else is going to make it too. Like I'm not
Right.
going to be mad at someone else if they are just making cups, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, or just anything. Oh, that she's making t-shirts. There's so many, and that's why I kind of pulled back from it, because it was
Mm-hmm.
kind of too much. Not competition, it was just, why do people have to say anything? Because they only take one time for somebody to be like, oh, you do t-shirts too? So now I'm like, okay.
But yeah,
And
but then again,
I shouldn't
right.
do that.
No, you shouldn't.
Mm-mm.
Because I've always told you this too, how we all could be doing the same thing, but it's not the same thing.
It's not the same thing.
And
Hmm.
I personally, even though I don't take my advice sometimes, because that's just
Same
how
here.
I am, right?
Same here.
There is a spot even in social media, you even on YouTube, there's a bunch of people who does budgeting. Budgeting this, budgeting that, budget. But if you watch 10 people, we all budget differently. We do
Yeah.
things differently. We save differently. Our lifestyles are different. Our walk of life is different. Situation is different. Incomes are different. So that is with this great example by you saying about the cup. Another great example when it comes to budgeting, because there's going to be a lot of people here who are probably budgeters watching this. The savings challenges, savings trackers, envelopes, the money saving envelopes, the money. Oh, the 100, was it 100
Yeah.
envelopes challenge?
Yes. Hmm.
The
Hmm.
100 envelopes challenge, the binders, the little wallet binders, like all the little cash envelopes itself.
Yes. Yes.
It 1,000 billion people go on Etsy and you see 1 billion people doing the same thing, but
Yep.
it's not the same. It doesn't look the same.
Hmm.
Everyone has a certain technique. They use a certain material. They use designs. They use this.
Hmm.
But I get it because I had a store, um, and on Etsy, and I used to get in myself in the head because there was people there who were successful doing the same thing I was doing. So in
Hmm.
my brain, I told myself, why can I not be successful in this?
Hmm.
You know, like
Hmm.
why? It literally took me 5 years to be able to close my shop. I did it for 5 years before I told myself like I'm done. Like I
Yeah.
officially am done with this. This is not for me. I even spoke to, and I'm thankful for those people who did answer. Like there's some people who were on Etsy, who are on YouTube, who I messaged about how they were doing and stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
they were not everybody, because some people are not like, they don't want to help others, they just want to help themselves.
I never understood that. I never
I never
understood
understand that because
because
I feel
somebody asked me a question. Like I had asked people, "Oh, where do you get your music from?" Right? Because for some reason,
yeah.
Epic Sounds for me um gives me copyrighted music, and I don't know why. Because a lot of people use Epic
Epidemic
Sounds,
sound. I know what you're saying.
Epidemic Sounds,
Is it
and
epidemic? I think so.
Epidemic, Epic
I
Sound.
just go on YouTube and look for the YouTube music.
So yeah, so I started doing that, and my daughter said just to go in like the comments. My 20-year-old is helping me, and
Right.
my thing is that I music is something you can't take away something from somebody. I'm not asking you, hey, what's your angles, or I don't know, like something that could really, really
Right.
copy the person, you know?
Right.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because I went on Instagram and I've done asked questions like, "Hey, where do you guys get your music from?" Or I asked questions on just basic stuff like, "What cameras do you guys use?" You know what I'm saying? And it tends to be that nobody answers. Like
Mm-hmm.
even the people that you talk to on a regular, they don't even answer.
Right.
And it's kind of like, okay, Sabrina, do your own thing. And it's crazy because it's like when you come to ask me a question, I'm freely to give it.
Right. I'm the
Freely
same
to
way.
give it. The same way you look, I came to you and I was like, hey, how did you do the double recording?
Right.
I was doing it, but I was doing it separate. So I would record
Right.
and then record my screen, right? So there's our
Mm-hmm.
ways like StreamYard where you could do the whole screen
Mm-hmm.
recording with you on it. Even when I asked that, what software is that? Nothing. And I'm like, I can't copy what you do. You're just saying, hey, this is a good software you can use, you know? And so now that
Right. I'm
makes
not
me
asking you to tell me the name of the title of the music you're hearing, or because technically, if you are using something in epidemic sound, you should be putting in the title in the bottom, because you got to give that person credit for that audio. But
right,
just saying,
right.
that's
No,
one thing
no,
about a
yeah,
lot of,
definitely.
yeah. So
And I was doing
it's
that
not like
too.
private information, but
Right.
I'm saying like it's not like you're asking for private information,
I'm not
and I'm
saying,
with
hey,
you with that.
yeah, no,
Hmm.
it's just, even for a person that just starts, right? I had some girl, she was like, oh my God. She was like, I've been trying to start YouTube and, I don't know how to get started. And I'm like, hey, listen, what do you want to know? There's money on here for everybody.
There
There's
is.
room. There's room. I have a little corner. You have a little corner. She can have a little corner. Like, that's where I'm not,
We could have
that's
a.
why,
We could all have a slice of the pie.
yes, we can. And it could be multiple pies. And that's why I was telling her, I gave her the whole breakdown. But I know we're going off topic.
No, it's good. It's good
Oh,
stuff, because
oh,
I
okay.
feel like this ties a lot, and that's what I like about this too. Because I feel like that ties a lot into creativity, believe it or not.
Mhm.
Because sometimes, I'm with you there. I always say like, I think it's different if I'm asking you what type of material you're using. If I don't know you like that, I
Mhm.
don't want you to share them, because I've learned that people who have like companies and stuff, sometimes if you share it online, what type of manufacturer or something you're using, they get delayed.
Mhm.
Like they can't get the products and stuff, like they're a big
Right.
place, you
Right.
know? But when you're saying that, like, I always tell myself I want to be able to help people when it comes to things like that, because if I'm able to figure it out and you ask me a question and all you're asking me is, hey, you're literally coming out of your way to ask you. I don't think people understand, not a lot of people are willing to ask when they want to ask.
Right.
So
Oh,
if
you got
someone
those
takes the
silencers.
initiative,
Right. But
right,
then you got those silencers that are afraid to ask
right,
because they
because
feel
they've
like
probably been denied multiple times.
mm-hmm.
So they're like, I'm not gonna ask that.
Right.
I always
Right.
tell you this, right? Even in our videos,
Mm-hmm.
some people may not comment, but they're watching, right? Because I am one of those people that I'm like an active watcher for a lot of
Mm-hmm.
channels. And
Yeah.
I may not comment in your channel, not because I don't want to help you, but if I got nothing to say to you, of what I'm
Right.
watching, like, good to say, I'm not going
Right.
to comment. And I know that
Definitely.
sounds mean, and I don't expect anyone to do that for me, you know?
Right.
I don't.
Right.
And I get it, you are helping that person by commenting. But
Hmm.
unless maybe they're like you're asking a question, there's something be like, oh yeah, you should do this and that. Like there's people that I watch that even he a lot of people, even those big people that you watch, and they're like those really beautiful
Yeah.
blogs.
Not the. Hmm.
I may just put like, oh, I love it, or great, like, because I generally like the video you made. So, and I
Yeah.
tell people, even small things like that, it has to be. I want to help you genuinely. I don't want it to be fake. Like,
Yeah.
I'm
Definitely.
here, I'm here. The one, okay, let me
I'm
stop.
first.
The slogan that I hate is,
I'm
baby.
first.
Go ahead.
No, I'm telling you, it says in the comment, I'm first.
I'm first. Yes. Wait. You know what's good? Supporting. Please follow me too.
Yeah. I'm like, I thought we were over that already. I really thought we were over
I
that
was.
already.
I'm sorry, but I was guilty of that. So I'm not here bashing you if you're
No,
like that.
I was
Please don't get
guilty of that.
offended. But I was one of those years ago.
No, I said the same thing. When I first started my channel, that whole sub for sub, I did it. The first 1,000 people
Sub
that
for
I
sub.
got
Yeah.
were from sub to sub. And then at
Mm-hmm.
some point in my life, I was just like, this is not how this works. Because I
No,
was
it shouldn't.
listening to the wrong people. And me
Yeah.
listening to the wrong people during that time, I was like, oh, maybe this is how I would get found. But then I didn't, and then at some point when I got to like 2000 and some, because after the 1500, after that I worked my butt off to try to gain the rest of the subscribers I have now, because I worked on doing that. I didn't go into anybody else and saying, hey, I have a channel, come follow me. None of that. Right. So I'm guilty of that too. And I'm not sitting here trying to say, oh no, my channel is strictly from, no, it wasn't all
Mm-hmm.
from sub for sub. And
Because that was the thing.
it's a
That
lesson.
was
It
the
was a
thing
lesson
then.
learned. It was
Yeah.
a When I started my channel, that's what was going on. But
Mm-hmm.
of course, it was wrong because those people are probably no longer even in my, subscriber count. So
Yes.
I totally understand that. Like, and
Yeah.
I want people to understand that even when you start off your channel, it's gonna start off with one subscriber. I know when I got my first subscriber, I was like, I
Me
got one
too. I was
subscriber.
like,
Somebody
oh
was
my
watching me.
God, people following.
Somebody was watching me, and then I'll go to my daughters and I'll go with my phone. I'm like,
Yeah.
I got 5 views, and they're like, "Ma, it's
Yeah.
5 views." I'm like, I don't care if it was just one. I got
Five
5 views.
views.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The algorithm told somebody you should watch this video.
Definitely, definitely.
And that's what it's crazy you're saying that because at first I did the same thing. And this is the thing about YouTube. Since we're in the YouTube topic. Um a lot of people are gonna follow you. They're not gonna watch your content. So my thing is this: if I personally told myself this year, right? And
Mhm.
since last year, I lost, which I'll share here because I don't care. I had got my 1,000 and I was nearing my 4,000 hours, right? I
4,000 watch
was
hours.
literally at 3,920 hours. Like I was there. And something switched where I lost every hour. And then I got discouraged and then I stopped doing YouTube. Then I didn't leave it permanently, but I was gone for like 2 to 3 months. Now I set
Mhm,
myself up for failure. I'll take fault because I did that to myself.
mhm,
But once I went all the way down, I told myself moving forward, I want to create a community here. It doesn't have to be a budget community. Okay. This is why I'm transitioning, right? We were talking about transitioning our channels into
transitioning.
things
Mhm.
differently. I
Yes,
want to transition my channel to more realistic life, right? That's reality.
definitely.
I want you to go in here and enjoy watching me. Like, I know I still do some of those videos where they used to be like how they used to be before because I'm trying to keep myself as active as I possibly can on YouTube. But I want to people to enjoy watching what I make. And you could have 4,000, 5,000 people. And if you go on those big channels where you see like 10,000, 15,000, they might have just gotten a few thousand views. So that means that hey, everybody they follow, only a certain percentage
Right,
of them is watching. And even
right.
on YouTube, like the back end of YouTube, what's it called? Your YouTube creator, you can see
Mhm.
that like analytics of, and it even shows you what, like who has been there before. Like, are you having subscribers watching you, new people? Da, da, da. You want to attract more new people to subscribe to your channel, but to watch it. That's the
But to
key.
watch, yes, and not just
Yes.
watch the first. Listen. One, I appreciate the fact that
Same.
people even click my videos, right? I do.
Exactly.
I because I'm not gonna sit here and knock myself, right? But I work
Right.
hard
Right.
in my videos. I
You
try
you
my
do.
best
As
for
you
better
do.
lighting, to make sure y'all see my face. Like, obviously, I changed up my content so it
Mhm.
can be where you feel me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Because what I'm gonna share with you guys is actually my personal life. Those are my
Right.
personal numbers that my kids keep saying. Like, my daughter's like, "Why do you show your income?" Why not? Someone out there, I'm
Yep.
not making trillions of dollars. I live where I live at. You know what I'm saying? Like, my
Right.
thing is, and I get it, it's safety reasons. I get it. But you coming to get no money. So
Right.
you could come and think you could come and you're coming to get no money.
Right.
So you're coming to get the $0 and
Right. Like, what you coming for? Leave me alone.
I got shit. I got things to pay. Okay. I got bills to pay.
Oh, you're like, oh,
So
we got things to pay.
we got
That's
things
funny.
to pay. But my
So
thing
funny.
is that I wish that, and I know I can't go back, but when I was
Right.
working in my Lane Bryant days, I wish I would have showed, like, was into the whole budgeting, because I was only
Same.
making like $110 every 2 weeks.
Can you believe that was okay?
A hundred, Angelica, there was times that I was making like $40 because I was only working one day. Because retail back then, it's not retail what it is today.
No, when I was in retail, because I was younger, I will get 2 days a week, and that was normal. 2 days a week, Saturday and Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
just to
Mm-hmm.
bring me in. I was an extra person too, so I was not full time.
Yes.
Part time got maybe 20 hours,
Mm-hmm.
maybe every two
Right.
weeks. I went in for 2 days, and I got a paycheck of 180, and I thought I was rich.
Right. I mean, you thought you was rich. I was broke ass because I had two kids. Well, I started off with one kid, but back then it wasn't like
Mm-hmm.
that. Like, back then
No.
it was just like, all right, what do you? And then I thought it was like free fall for everything. I spent my money on my daughter. Like, she needed a new pair of sneakers. I'm gonna go buy the new pair of sneakers. Like,
Right.
everything
Right.
was focused on her, and I could see why my kids are so hard on me. On, you have to invest in yourself. Like, you
Yeah.
have to buy yourself something. Like, me and my oldest daughter, we went out yesterday, right? And I was dealing with the thing with my youngest daughter
Mm-hmm.
that I didn't even sleep, girl. Girl, you couldn't even see me yesterday. I look like a raccoon from outside. And I was just like, my daughter's like, let's go outside. Let you have not,
Mm-hmm.
I know you haven't slept, but let's just go outside. Let's enjoy the day.
Mm-hmm.
And let's just spend some time together. I said, okay, not a problem. I felt a little bad. I was like, damn, I told Angelica that I need to reschedule. She was like, Mom, but you're
Oh my
tired.
God, stop.
I'm just trying to get you out the house, because your mind is
Right.
racing in this house and
Right.
you need to get out. So we went out or whatever, and there was a pair of leggings that I wanted because I'm trying to be that gym girl now. Now I'm wearing the leggings.
Yeah.
So my daughter's like, "Ma, buy them. Why are you holding back? You budget, the
Right.
bills are paid, you add a credit card debt, you in student loan debt. I know the world's crashing, but we don't have to crash."
Right.
And I was
It's
just
just, I
like,
get it.
I think
My
it's
mom is
just
the same way.
a scary thing that we're going through. But
I know.
you
But I
know,
get it because my mom is the same way. My mom be like, oh, no, I don't really need that. Buy it. You could afford
yeah.
it. It's not that you
But see,
can't afford it. It's because you're not used. My mom was like that because my mom raised me by herself. She went into like that mechanism of like everything I need to buy because we need it is a necessity. Nah, she didn't like to do it's just a want, not a
yeah,
need
yeah,
type of thing.
yeah.
And even now when they were older and I'm able to, let's say, maybe afford to buy her something, she'd be like, no, 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 I don't need that right now. Just buy it. You
Like,
might
my
not find
kids,
it later. That's what I
like,
tell her.
they asked me, what do you want for Mother's Day? And I gave them a list.
Nothing.
They like, oh, Ma, why you this is like less than $50. I'm like, what do you want me to do? Break your bank? Like, there's nothing else I need
Oh my
but you,
God.
girl.
No, you guys are, stop it. But if they're asking because they want to give you something.
Right. So I actually made a list, and she goes, this is for the kitchen. I'm like,
Yeah.
make up your mind. And then I asked them to
My mom does that.
buy me the Mel Robbins Let Them series.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? Y'all can buy me that book. I was like,
There you
she was like,
go.
oh, here we go, another book. Like another
Another
book. Did
book.
you get enough for
She's
Christmas? And I'm like, look, listen. But yeah, I
you
just
lucky
think
you even got a list. Be like, you lucky
right,
you even got a list. My mom would be like,
exactly.
I'd be like, you want something for Mother's Day? She'd be like, literally to my face. No. I said, what you mean no? Do you
Like,
wanna can you give me 5 items? She'd be like, I
yeah,
don't need nothing. I know
right.
that you don't need nothing. I know you don't need nothing, but do you
It's
want
something.
something?
It's
So this is
something.
what yeah, it's okay.
I
It's
think
okay.
it's just us. Yeah. But this goes back to what I read in this.
I love how we just got out of the book.
No, no, this is actually going to
I
go
love
into
it.
what I just finished saying.
Okay, go
It
ahead.
says here in page 5, it says
Okay.
what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
It says our lives feel somehow flat. Often we have great ideas, wonderful dreams, but are unable to actualize them for ourselves. So this
Mm-hmm.
flows exactly for what we've been talking about. So it's kind of like we could have ideas, but we block them ourselves.
We do.
Like this crazy because even like back to the my whole daughter situation, like, can you give me a list? I'm gonna be honest with you. In that moment, I don't need anything. But the minute the time passes, it's like, damn, I should have asked for this because I'm thinking more ahead. I'm not thinking,
Mm-hmm.
you know, you know what's crazy? The whole dream part. Let's just skip that part. We gotta skip that
Okay.
part.
Okay.
It says wonderful dreams. It's crazy. Look, my hair stand up because my daughters asked me that. They was like, "Mom, when you was younger, have you ever dreamed about anything?" And I'm like, "No." They were like, "No, like a house, white picket fence, with a husband." Said no. They were like, "What were you doing?" Surviving. And they looked at me. They were like, "Surviving." I'm like, children, if y'all would know
Right.
the whole aspect of us trying to grow up, you would see dreams wasn't a thing. For some people, it
Right.
was. Because
Right.
obviously some people probably had both parents.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe both parents weren't addicted to anything. They weren't addicted to alcohol, things to
Right.
that nature. So when it said wonderful dreams and are unable to and actualize them for ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
that right there triggered me for when both my kids were sitting in the living room. They were like, because they want to travel more. And they have a big, and I said, you know what? Because at some point in your lives, yes, for my older kid, of course, for the first kid, I was a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I had you in the box, girl. I had you try to tie it down. You still escaped. But when I try to, and it says it in this book too, which is like I was telling you, it triggers me even more because it was like when you try to tell your kid, because I think it was in the beginning of this book when she said, when the young man wants to be an artist, but his parents made him try to think of being a lawyer and a doctor because they were forcing it on them. It's
Mm-hmm.
crazy because for my first kid, I made sure, because I didn't get my GED or high school diploma when I was supposed to. I always made sure, I always tell both my kids, I don't care what you guys do in the future. I mean, don't go doing nothing crazy,
Right, right,
but
right, right.
make sure you guys have your high school diploma and GED. You're not getting through doors without that. Yes, you need some college. Yes, you do. But I'm
Right,
not
right.
going to force it on you guys. I just need you guys to do that. That right there for my first kid, I pushed her and pushed her and pushed her and pushed her. And she tells me, you didn't do that for Samaya. And I said, the reason why I didn't do it for Samaya is because it was harder times when
For
I had
you.
you,
Right,
you
right.
know? So when I read that part, I was just like, and a lot of parents do this. And I know
Mm-hmm.
someone right now at this moment
Mm-hmm.
are forcing their kids to follow in their footsteps. And the kid
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to do what the parent wanted to do. And I told this person, I hope that you don't regret that later.
Mm-hmm. Because it does build a sense of resentment with them with time.
Right.
Because you're
And when
portraying
I
your
read that,
fears upon them.
right. When I read that, I was just like, oh my God, I did that with my first kid. I was like, oh my God, I pushed this girl. And that's probably why she was so rebellious on so many things in her life, which she was
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm going to do this behind my mother's back. Do that. And
Mm-hmm.
now she comes to realize and she says to me, Mom,
Because she's older now.
she's
She
older now.
understands.
Now she understands. But I
Mm-hmm.
did tell her, like, I wish I would have did little things differently. I really, really did. I can't change what I done. I know you're here. That's all that counts
Right.
to me. I
You're,
said, but I
yeah.
know you resented a lot of things that I did, like
Right.
not letting you go out. Like my kids, girl, they would tell you stories. And it wasn't,
My mom didn't let me go out anywhere, so I know.
yeah. So that whole dreams thing, and they even ask me now, do you dream of anything now? I'm like, no. I mean, I want better, but I'm not dreaming. Like I was never the girl to dream of a house or be married or first of all, no kids. There was no kids in my brain.
Right, right,
Like going to school was you go to school, come home, what's gonna happen? Like what's
right,
next? Yeah, I have friends growing up, but like my sister-in-law is my friend today. Like that's my sister-in-law. She's not even a friend anymore. That's my
right.
sister. So it's kind of like I don't have
Do you have?
dreams. Did you have
I
any
think you
dreams?
do. I
You think
think
so?
you do. Yeah, I think
Maybe,
now that you're older, you
or
do,
maybe
but
I'm
maybe you.
blocking them.
I think maybe you're in the I mean, I'm not thinking on behalf of you, but maybe you're in the self-preservation that if I dream, I am setting myself up to fail. Because
Mm.
what if that dream does not come true? Because
Mm-hmm.
you're saying that to me, which I think is crazy because my mom is the same way. Okay. My mom was like, I don't even ask her anymore. Like, what would you? So one of my mom's dream was to go to Italy. We went to Italy. I know this is like like a item, but like a thing now because but in for her, she never thought that she was gonna get the chance to go before she left this life. This is how my
Yeah.
mom is.
Mm-hmm.
My mom is very like gets too
Reserved.
deep in. Yes, and she gets really like she's very pessimistic than optimistic in a
Okay.
lot of things, and I don't think she does it on purpose. I think just life push her to that mentality,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
but even now, like I ask, like, do you want this? No, 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 no. I don't want that. I don't want that. Like an example. So my mom has an obsession with Shakira. I don't know. She has this obsession that she follows on
Okay.
social media. She goes online. She checks her life, where she at, what she's doing.
Okay,
I don't know.
mom.
That's my mom. She goes through.
She said that's mom.
So yeah, that's just she's upset. And I said to her, "Well, Shakira is coming to Jersey. Let's go." No, give me that money better. I'm like, what do you mean? That's not the point. The point the point is to go. She's like, I don't want to put myself in that type of situation. What situation? She's like, I gotta make lines. What line? You get a ticket. You go to your spot and you sit. She's like, I don't want to put myself in that type of situation in a place where
Oh
I
man.
just don't want to and did it. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get them anyway. She's like, don't do it. I'm not going. Don't do it. Like this is her. I said, okay, fine. We don't go. Fine.
Wait, how did you get
So
her to go to Italy?
because she wanted to, really, really wanted to.
Mm.
So, but this because it's not like still like this. So Italy is we're traveling, we're gonna do things together. But this is like I don't know. She doesn't want to spend that money to go see someone. She's like, I just see her on my computer. That's not the point. You want to see her. You like her music. Let's go see it. But she don't want to, so I'm not gonna force it. But that's
Right.
a great example what you were just talking about. It's like she has. I think it's deep down she has a hard time with things like that now because we're
Yeah.
able to do it
Mm-hmm.
like and it's like hard for her. She's like, oh, we're just spending money where we shouldn't be, like because she's still I feel like she's still in that self-preservation mentality of
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't do this, I can do that. And even dreams, I don't even ask her no more that question because she would not. She's like, oh, what are you talking about? You're just talking nonsense. But then again, my
Right.
mom comes from a time where dreaming is hopeless. Like you're just dream is just a dream.
Right. Because you're surviving in that era,
Correct,
you
it's
know?
different.
Yeah.
So
That
even like my mom grew up very poor too, like so that dreaming is just dreaming.
yeah.
Action is what, and it's crazy because I talk to my uncle a lot. My uncle is my mom's brother,
Okay.
and he does really good from himself. And he tells me our family likes to self-sabotage themselves in a way that they think in their mind is impossible to do better for themselves, or
Yeah.
it comes from greed. If I have more, I am being greedy. If
Mhm.
I am wealthy, I am being greedy.
Mhm.
I should not want money. I hate this saying so freaking much. I'm getting passionate because I freaking hate it. If there's a way you say it, but I can't think of the exact term. Is
Mhm.
goes like when people be saying, "Oh, th- um, money is evil. Money is the devil's work on you," something like that. Like around that spiel, like there's an
Mhm.
exact saying to it. I can't think of my brain because I was gonna look at my phone, but I'm recording on my phone. It goes like money is all evil, and my money can make you be grimy. Okay, yes, it could make you be
Mhm.
grimy, but I said with money it gives me a better lifestyle. With money I'm able to survive. With money
Yeah.
I am not homeless.
Mhm.
So why do we have such a negative connotation to our money?
Right. Because it's really on how we spend it and how we take
Right,
advantage of it.
agreed. I don't think money is all evil. I think you could do a lot of great things with money.
Right. Because
And
what
right.
happens when you're giving back? Is that evil?
Is that evil because you have the money to do so?
Right. Yeah.
So
And it's
that's
crazy because you know what's wait, is it in here? Yes, it is in the next page on 7. So I was reading this part here, and where it says right before it says stop telling yourself.
yeah.
So it says I could do that. If only do you tell yourself that if only you took the creative potential seriously, you might
You
stop
might.
telling yourself it's too late. I know I tell myself that a lot.
Yep. I also it's crazy you're saying because I did little check marks and that I love it. I did the whole stop waiting until you make enough money to do something you really love.
That's me.
And then the main one it says stop telling yourself creativity is a luxury and
Mhm.
that you should be grateful for what you got.
Yes.
Because
Amen. Oh, amen to
because
that.
people love, and before
I
we
did the one with
uh-huh.
stop fearing that your family and friends would think you crazy.
Oh, I think I'm up on that, girl. They think I'm crazy already.
Right. The reason why I highlighted that is because I'm still hearing that on YouTube that people be like, "Oh, I don't want to start a YouTube because I'm afraid of what my family is going to say." And I'm not going to lie, when I first started it, well, I was doing couponing. I mean, how crazy could I have learned
Yeah.
couponing? But then when I
Mm-hmm.
transitioned into the whole budgeting thing, I was just like, "Oh my god, my family's going to think like cuz I really don't have no friends. So what are they going to think about? Like where are the friends at? I don't have none."
Right,
You know?
right.
And when I was talking to my brother, because the only person I really go to and ask, "Hey, I think I want to do this," and he goes, "Do whatever you want. Stop.
Right.
Don't ask me to do anything. Just do
Just
it."
do it.
And I'd be like, "Yeah, but I always have." Or I ask my daughters, like, I'd be like, "Hey, listen,
Mm-hmm.
this is what I'm about to do excuse me, on YouTube. Are you guys okay with it? Because I don't want to put out something that might reflect
Mm-hmm.
on my kids later." Because
Mm-hmm.
it's not only me. I'm not single. Like I have children too. Yes, they're adults, but this might fall back on them too if this was to go live. Like anything was to go
Mm-hmm.
live. Um, so yeah, I just tell people, listen, just start it. If it's in
Right.
you and you have it up here and you have it down here in your heart, just
I
start it. Don't
agree.
worry about what anybody has to say.
So it's crazy you're saying that. Before we got to that part, there's something that I made a thing to it. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna read it so you
Okay.
could. It says, "We ourselves are the substance we withdraw to, not from as we pull our overextended and misplaced creativity energy back into our own core. We begin to excavate our buried dreams. This is a tricky process. Some of our dreams are very volatile, and the mere act of brushing them off sends an enormous surge of energy vaulting through our denial system.
Mm.
It's such a grief, such a loss, such a pain."
Yeah.
And that when I read that triggered me a little bit, because she's warning people, by the way, in the book, like, you're gonna get to a part in this book that you're gonna cry, you're gonna be upset,
Mhm.
you're gonna be like, no, no, no. And she
Mhm.
says, when you get to that point in the series, that is when you must really put your foot forward, because that is what's been nagging at you, and that is the issue that you're having, that
Yep.
is making you feel that way. And I'm
Yep.
so with that, because I tell people, I always used to say this. My dream, someone said, you need to dream so big it makes you uncomfortable, right?
Mm.
My dream is so big that it makes me uncomfortable, because my brain goes into, that's impossible. Why should you? And
Mhm.
one thing she mentions in that, even this is just the beginning. It's not even entering the work, because it's like almost like a workbook. She was saying, like a
Yeah.
workbook
Yeah.
later on. Once you get to the
Mhm.
week one,
Mhm.
one thing that really stood out to me is that um the sense of jealousy and unfairness, right? That we don't notice that we're doing it, but it does happen when we watch other people who, I'll admit it, I'd be like, why them and what not me, right?
Right.
But I
Right.
always tell people this, you don't know what that person went through. I always say, with everything, there is a sacrifice,
Yes.
and there's, because I feel like when you go through a process to get what you want and you get there, you appreciate it more,
Yes.
because I'm finally there. I finally, this is what I've been working for, and I got there. I
Mhm.
appreciate. At least that's me. I
Yes.
appreciate it
No.
more
Yeah. No.
when I got to
I
whatever it
agree
is.
with you. Mhm.
Even like, and this has to, like, and then I don't want to go to that part, but in another video I'll mention that. But mainly for me is, yeah,
No,
because
but
we're
I
almost
agree with
coming.
you. No, I agree
Yeah,
with you on that because
yeah,
there's, like, for instance, and just staying on the topic that you just said, and then
yes,
I'm gonna read something because we're probably gonna be closing out soon. But
yep, mhm,
I was working for a nonprofit after school
mhm,
center. I was making money.
mhm,
I took advantage of the fact that I was making money. And the reason why I say I was taking advantage is because when people used to say, "Hey, with like random people," because I have friends at one point. Okay, I have friends at
mhm.
one point, but and then
Don't
I
we
used to be
all?
like, "Oh my god, my job it is paying me well, like this, that," and I will be able to splurge. You understand what I'm
Mhm.
saying? But a lot of people didn't understand that I came from not like basically nothing. I'm not gonna say zero because obviously my mom works. She covered the bills. She
Right,
did what she had to do. We just wasn't fortunate to have everything we wanted.
right.
But then when I started, because obviously I had a kid at a young age, and when I started my real life, like started like really having to work and take care of another human being, I wasn't making much. So when I actually came to make much without, you know, without a GED or a high school diploma, and I got that job, I thought I was above here. I'm not gonna lie. I was above here. I was one of those people that I was like, I'm making money. Can't nobody tell me nothing.
Right, right.
Little do I know it was coming to an end. God would take away stuff for you taking advantage of something, he would take it away from you. And I'm not gonna say in a bad way. It was a
Right.
nonprofit. They couldn't stay open no more. That was my key on you need to stop thinking that things are so always secure and you're out there blurring it out to people. So now when I go back into making 100 and something dollars every 2 weeks again, because I went back to Lane Bryant
Mhm.
and I was working two retail jobs and I was working
Mhm.
for Gymboree and Elaine Bryant again. When
Mhm.
that happens, it was just like, okay, why am I not like like telling people, yeah, I make 100 and something dollars every 2 weeks? Like you could see the difference.
Right.
And it was just like I had to sit with myself and realize like you don't do those things. You don't do that. What you
Yeah.
have, like you just said, what you have to appreciate what you have.
Right.
And that's why I always tell my kids, where you come from, you don't be embarrassed of.
Correct. I'm 100% with that.
Because a lot of people be like, oh, you live in the projects. Okay,
Okay.
I got keys.
And
I have a roof over my head. I have a bed to sleep on. I got hot water sometimes. I have heat sometimes, but it comes on.
right.
But I have somewhere inside to go to. There's a lot of people
Right.
that's
You're
unfortunate.
not
Like,
homeless. You're not homeless.
Right. And I know what it is to be homeless. And we could
Right.
touch on that
Right.
on another video. But then it boils down to this here, what I highlighted here. It says you will
Mhm.
learn ways to recognize and resolve fear, remove emotional scar tissue, and straighten your confidence. And that's on the bottom where it says stop telling yourself it's too late, you know.
Mhm.
And I wrote here, my biggest fear is actually trying to create things, like we said earlier, that I'm going
Mhm.
to fail at. And I think that's my biggest fear. And since that's my biggest fear, I'm blocking my own fears.
Mhm.
Like there's so many videos that I want to create, but in my head, I'm like, so many people are making these videos. But like you said earlier, it's not going to be their video. It's going to be your
Mhm.
video,
Correct.
you know? So it's kind of like I want to be able to really tell my stories, even through the shelter, experience the shelter, because someone else is going through this.
Yeah.
Someone else is saying, because I used to be like that. Not me. I'm not going to
Right.
shelter. You freaking crazy. I'm not going in that. Mm-mm. Who
Until
ended
you
up
had.
again? God
Right.
said, or the universe said, God said,
I'm gonna
universe,
humble you real
oh,
fast.
I'm going to humble you. You know where
Mhm.
you going? You going to figure it out real fast. Okay. And
Mhm.
today I am proud to say that I am not ashamed. I would tell anybody my story
Mhm.
because it didn't come from someone handing me a silver
Right.
spoon. It was, you have to work for it. Some people have to work a little slower to get where they want,
Yep.
but there's a light. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Just don't compare yourself to others and keep on pushing
Agree.
through.
Agree. And
So,
it's going with what you were saying about like your biggest fear, and then we'll end this on this topic. I think it's great to end it here. My biggest fear is being successful, because I tell myself that why would I be that lucky to be successful? So that is my greatest fear, and I'm working towards, because I know there's just some, I feel like I'm very near but yet very far from whatever it is that is going to trigger me to that level. And that's something that I've been holding myself back for many years, which is why I'm very careful when I share things with people, my dreams, my hopes, anything like that, because I tell myself I do like I was saying earlier, you need to dream to the point that your dream makes you very uncomfortable, and I believe that my dream makes me very uncomfortable, because
wow.
it looks so out of reach, but I know it's
Mhm.
not, because I've seen other people do great things
Yeah.
when they have never thought of doing anything, or they became they were not rich. And I say rich, like I mean like successful to the point where I don't have to work in a way that I have to put my 80 hours in every 2 weeks to be able to make it through
Right.
life.
Right.
That to me is
Right.
success. When I
Right.
could not have to worry about every income coming in, that because someone said you're 2 checks away from being homeless. Isn't that wild? I
Ooh.
think someone said you're 2 checks away from being homeless. And I don't think a lot of people understand, if you lost what you had today, you will be
Yep.
looking, you'll be in the pickle.
Right.
And I'm going
Right.
to end it with that. So
Mhm.
I want to thank everyone who made it to this point of the podcast. As you
Yes.
can see, we're in 2 different locations, which is why I'm in another state in Pennsylvania. And my friend here is all the way in New York. So this is why we're
Yes.
doing it here. So I hope that you guys got to the end. Listen to this anytime when you're going somewhere. But
Mhm.
our next thing is probably going to be our live. I appreciate everyone who was here. I hope this touched somebody in some way, in some form. And I will see you all in our next podcast or live.
Thank you for watching. If you made it this far, you go. Because
You the
I enjoyed myself.
bomb.com.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Sabrina. I am really
Oh,
appreciative of
anytime.
this
Thank you.
conversation.
I enjoyed it. This
This
it
was
turned out
good.
good. Yeah.
This is just the beginning. I told you it was going to be good. I'll see you guys.
54 minutes
Bye.
later.